If your toe is throbbing, how do you focus on a healthy foot? Well, you've got to stand back and look at the bigger picture of it. And the bigger picture is what we emphatically described here today, is that this wave equals this wave, and that while that calibration is happening, so is this. And you just got to decide, do you believe more in the eternalness of yourselves or this specific moment in time? That's why we were nitpicking over the idea of grounded, because you're moving rapidly forward. Hard to not notice that. Hard to not see it and hear it and smell it and taste it and touch it, because that's what you do with your physical senses. So it requires activating something that means more. It means activating the point of conversation that you can have with your source energy. And that's a vibrational conversation that is demonstrated through emotions. So when you feel fear, you're not doing it. When you feel worried, you're not doing it. When you feel like you're not sure of what you're doing, you're not doing it. Want to calibrate it?
Yes.
So notebook is open and the situation has been described. Give us the emotional clues that obviously let you know how easy it has been and how normal it is for you to have, in this situation, calibrated to what is. I feel
distress. I feel sad. I feel powerless sometimes. Sometimes hopeful. Not completely powerless, so I can work my way partly up the scale.
We know you feel that, we know you feel that, we know you feel that, and we know you feel that, but all of that has led you to this.
Right.
And so let's calibrate this. When I focus on this situation, which I am describing here, I feel
worried,
and there's another vibration that has an emotional demonstration that we want you to find. I feel inadequate to fix this.
Yeah, or I wonder if I'm adequate to fix this.
Well, the wondering is enough resistance that you can give it the inadequate label.
Okay, good. I got that.
You're interesting to play with because you're connected to your inner being enough that these words that we're describing don't apply to who you usually are and what you really know. Just this situation. And this is a situation that you're calibrating. So it doesn't matter what you usually believe or what you've normally believed. The whole point of this exercise is to change this belief about this situation. You want to calibrate to who you really are because the situation has calibrated you. And this is something that really bothers powerful teachers. It's one of the things that really bothers you a lot. I should know better. I should know better than to let a situation calibrate me. Really? You're not going to allow yourself any more step one moments? You're not going to let this wave create this wave? You're not going to let something really big make something really big? Of course. The inadequacy, that just flies out the window with that sort of discussion, doesn't it?
Right.
This is going to sound a little off to all of you. It isn't off, and we're going to explain to you why it isn't off until you know it isn't off. Ready? This conversation is not about your nephew. It's about your calibrating to something you desire. Happens to regard your nephew. But this is about your calibrating to your strengths. Did you take that ride with us just a little bit? Because in human conversations, how could you be so selfish to be worrying about how you feel when your little nephew is suffering? You should be thinking always and only and completely about your nephew. And we say, you do that, you've got no power. You let what is dominate your thoughts, and you don't reach for the way your inner being is looking at this. We want you to know something. We're just going to say it straight out. If you knew right now your inner being and what your inner being thinks about most things, as a normal, physical, human being, you would criticize your inner being for not being sensitive enough. You would criticize your inner being for not being willing to be there for you. And you know what? You're right, because your inner being will not be there for you. Where is your inner being? There for you. And who put there? You did. You put there. You were the one who put there. So don't criticize your inner being for not going there with you. Your inner being is never going to go there with you. Your inner being stays over here. And so you had a there, which caused you to create a there. And the reason that you ever feel anything that is an emotion that is diminished in any way is because you're going over there and your inner being isn't over there. Your inner being's over there. It really is that simple. Your inner being's over there.
Okay, I've got that. Yeah. So I need to get there with my inner being.
That's a good pathway. So you know what these emotions are. So what do you really know? And you could write the book. In fact, you did. You could write the book about all of this too. You know what that stronger, overarching whole of who you are perspective is, but something's keeping you from being able to do it in this situation easily. What is it? Let's talk about this. Why is this harder for you than most? Say it. Well, I care more.
I care more. It's yes.
I care more because it's personal.
My little guy.
And isn't that what we've been saying always, is that the things you care the most about are the things you think the most about, and the things you think the most about you've done the most damage to. Because you've been sloppy in your thinking. The things you think the most about are the things that you're most in trouble about, because you thought that worrying about them and stewing over them and pouting over them and getting other people to feel your pain, and we're not speaking specifically, you're getting the sense of what we're talking about. We're talking about humans in general. You've been calibrating to mob mentality. If I can get more people to agree with me that this is a problem, then we'll be more likely to find a solution. No. You'll just find a bigger problem.
Right, and my brother and my sister-in-law don't really help because they're always like putting the problem in my face over and over and over again, and yeah, so.
Well, every time they put the problem in your face, you are calibrating to a solution, even if you're not consciously aware that you are.
I think that's true, yes.
So we've got the book out, and we know what we've already written on this side, so let's write on the other side. And a good thing, Esther writes it every time. What I dominantly feel about this, who I really am and what I really know is, she just tries to make that strong enough that that gets her attention so that she doesn't forget what she's doing in this moment with this side of the book. So then ask yourself, am I a focused being or a confused being?
Focused.
Does focus come easily to me, or is it hard?
Super easy.
Do I feel rooted in a broader understanding, or like I'm flailing about in unknown?
Broader understanding.
Do I have strong desire here or weak desire?
Strong desire.
Does my inner being support me in my desires, or am I out here on the bleeding edge by myself?
My inner being supports me in my strong desires.
Does my inner being know where these solutions are?
My inner being knows where the solutions are.
Is my inner being broadcasting those solutions?
Yes, my inner being is broadcasting them.
Do I ever receive impulse or inspiration, or is it just a crapshoot with me?
Oh no, I received a huge impulse and inspiration that I've been following.
So when you remind yourself who you really are, that the situation that you have easily been calibrating to takes on a different light. And for right now, in this moment, this is way more dominant than this. In fact, the goal in this exercise is to hook you up with who you really are. And have you heard us say that when you are in alignment with source, or in alignment with the stream, or in your vortex, we've used so many different examples to get your attention about the existence of that state of being. When you are tuned in, tapped in, turned on, you are more powerful than millions who are not. And so as you realize that in this simple exercise, you have just reconnected with that true power. And so now that is your point of attraction. That's your point of attraction. What do you think that that kind of point of attraction will do to these old beliefs?
I think it's going to...
Doesn't it have to move them?
Yeah, it does
Doesn't it have to move them? You can look around the world, and it's easy to believe in illness because there's a lot of illness all around the world. It's easy to believe in illness. But when you hook up with your inner being, you don't believe in illness because your inner being is not focused on illness. So when you've calibrated to that, for that moment in time, you are illness-free. It just doesn't exist in your vibration. And what's making you so mad at yourself is it's where you want to be, it's where you often are, but this situation has made it hard to be, which just means that there are still lingering beliefs. Mm-hmm. We just have to say this to you, to all of you. We love you so much. You know what's coming next.
We're sloppy thinkers.
We love you so much. You take score too soon. You take score too soon. It's like you calibrate and then you look and see, did it work? Well, you're not calibrating to change that. You're calibrating to assure your vibrational stance. You're calibrating to change your point of attraction. Hear this. This is so big. The whole purpose for calibrating is is to change your point of attraction. People who are deliberate creators, you commonly think, I'll get tuned in to this power and then I'll squirt it over there and I'll make that person well.
Yeah.
I will manipulate the laws of the universe. Now, stay with us. We're right on the brink of something really, really, really important. Esther has to breathe because we're going to yell. There is no such thing as assertion. It does not exist. Assertion does not exist. You don't tune in to assert well-being or to change people and make them not mind your messy kitchen. You tune in to your power. You tune in to your joy. You tune in to your love. But what are you tuning into? Why? What's the whole point of it? Your point of attraction, your point of attraction. So, is it logical to you that you have a vortex version of your nephew?
Yes.
And is it logical to you that you have a, grounded version, a what is version? So the whole point of calibrating is to make it easier for you to move this way than to move that way. To make the groove in the road that makes it easier to go that way than that way. Mm-hmm. To come to believe in desire. Do you know, I'm going to make a strong statement, preceded by some silence so we have your attention. Desire is all you need, but you hardly ever let yourself have a desire without a belief that shoots it in the foot. And as long as you've got that belief that shoots your desire in the foot, then things about that keep showing themselves to you, which makes you not believe in your desire. But if you could just have a pure desire, your inner being has a pure desire about the things that matter to you. And you told your inner being every subtle little thing that you were contributing to it. So you've created this magnificent relationship with all kinds of things that you want. And you don't have to justify them or prove them to anybody or get even one other person to agree with you. All you got to do is line up with your power so that all that power is your point of attraction. So that all that power is your point of attraction. So that all of that is your point of attraction. There's no assertion, there's only attraction. Only attraction, only attraction, only attraction, only attraction, only attraction. So when we say desire and belief, we love it when your desires and your beliefs match. And you really don't like it when your desires and your beliefs don't match. That's a clue. When you desire something, but you know what you do? And others have been the reason that you so often do it? Oh, we got to breathe here for just a minute. This is so big. You have so willingly calibrated to beliefs about stuff you don't even want. And why do you do it? Everybody else is. That's what they believe, and I don't want to look dumb. I don't want to look fanciful. I need to be grounded. I don't want to be weird. Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. You want to find the power of your desire, and you want to hang around there often. And your wonderful guidance system will show you every time you stray a little bit, and now you know what to do about it. And is it a bad thing that you have negative emotion? No, it's guidance. Is it a bad thing that you're living some life that's causing you to make more? No, it's what you came for. You said, I'll go and I'll mix it up and I'll explore, and new desires will be born from what I see. Boom. And then I will calibrate to them. And I will make my former bogus, flawed premise beliefs modify to match my desire. That's what you said. Enough?
Thank you so much. That was perfect.
Yeah.